You want to say, I'm a Second Amendment purist, and I'm making it safer. You're not. You're making it more chaotic. And that's not a matter of opinion. That's the truth.
That is a matter of opinion, John.
But why take away their tools?
Because certain of their tools that they're using would be infringements upon the people's right to keep and bear arms, upon their constitutional rights, upon due process, upon other things.
That registering is an infringement?
Yes.
Okay. Is voting a right?
It's a right for citizens, yes.
Do you have to do anything to do it?
Yes.
What do you have to do?
It depends on the state.
What do you have to do?
Sometimes you have to be at least 18 years old.
What do you have to do?
And in some places you have to have a government-issued ID.
What do you have to? You have to
be on the voter rolls?
Register. You have to register. So you have to register to a right. Is that an infringement?
Does the right to voting say shall not be infringed?
Oh, so this is just a semantic argument now.
No, it's not.
You believe voting rights can be infringed because it doesn't say specifically shall not be infringed.
Is it an infringement upon a 17-year-old's right to vote, since they don't have that right to vote?
No.
Oh, it's not an infringement on them?
No, okay. Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because you're the one making the argument, not me. I'm saying even rights have responsibilities, and that within those responsibilities are responsibilities and order, otherwise it's chaotic. I'll go you one further. You want to ban drag show readings to children.
To minors, yes.
Why?
Why?
What are you protecting?
Why can we prohibit children from voting, those under 18 from voting?
Why are you banning?
Also that?
Is that free speech? Are you infringing on that performer's free speech?
They can continue to exercise their free speech, just not in front of a child.
Why?
Because the government does have a responsibility to protect.
I'm sorry?
The government does have a responsibility in certain instances to protect children.
What's the leading cause of death amongst children in this country? And I'm going to give you a hint. It's not drag show readings to children.
Correct, yes.
So what is it?
I'm presuming you're going to say it's firearms.
No, I'm not going to say it like it's an opinion. That's what it is. It's firearms. More than cancer, more than car accidents. And what you're telling me is you don't mind infringing free speech to protect children from this amorphous thing that you think of. But when it comes to children that have died, you don't give a flying fuck to stop that because that shall not be infringed. That is hypocrisy at its highest order. Individual freedom requires collective action, and a collective is a group. But if every sacrifice for the group is viewed as oppression, then we lose the ability to preserve your individual freedom.
All right, let's pause it already. Let's pause it already. What an amazing word salad of gobbledygook. So individual freedom requires collective action, but if all collective action is viewed as oppression, then we lose the ability to preserve individual freedom. All right. First of all, let me just say the idea that after the last 18, 19 months, whatever it's been, like of all the things, Jon Stewart, you want to go after, it's freedom. Someone's really got to take freedom down a peg, you know, like let's really make fun of freedom after a year and a half plus of what? Lockdowns and riots and mandates and restrictions and vaccine passports and vaccine mandates. And yeah, you know, the real problem is just too much goddamn individual liberty in this country. Too much of people doing whatever they want to. Like this is always, if you ever want to know when anyone's ever making a real bullshit argument against freedom, like just the lowest level of like pathetic strawmanning nonsense argument, it's when they start going, so you're against working together with people. Or you just want to live by yourself on an island in the woods or whatever. Like, yeah, no one's against that. I'm just saying it's like, no, it's not oppressive for me to be like, hey, Rob, could we please bang this episode out tonight? I'm sorry. I know you got to get up early in the morning. Or if I were to go, Rob, I will shoot you if you don't record this episode tonight. There's a little different. So the element of whether like a threat of violence or force is used, that's kind of the difference over whether this collective action is oppressive or not. That's what the people who believe in freedom are saying. Because we're not saying working together is bad. A bunch of people doing something together is bullshit and oppressive. Every libertarian works with other people. Anyway, I don't know anything you want to throw in there?
If anything, they try and pretend that their vision is what freedom is, because they know that freedom is good. They know that we all inherently understand the value of it and want it. And so they have to create these double speak distortions as if it relies on something that it doesn't. And I remember I read this piece years ago from George Reisman about gun control. And I mean, this is one of the foundational liberty arguments that I really took to is look at the deaths from governments, right, against individuals for the collective good. That is the biggest risk. It's like they keep pretending that violating individual right, like, no, that's the biggest risk factor. If we give up on this idea that people should have individual rights, that's when you're going to have massive death. That is the biggest risk factor to people's lives. Like if you look at global deaths over human history, it's governments against their people.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Like, who is it to say, why does it just get to be assumed that the people who claim they care about the collective good are actually working toward the collective good? Where's the empirical evidence on that? I mean, the people who most loudly proclaimed that they were, most driven and like inspired by working for the collective good have been the ones who have been the most harmful for the collective good. Whether you're talking about the commies or the Nazis or whoever you want to talk about, the most collectivists always end up destroying the collective. And I think you can make a strong argument that the most individualists always end up doing the best for the collective. The best thing humanity can have is when a group of people are doing something together voluntarily. So all of that, literally all of that meant nothing. That you can't have individual liberty without collective action. Well, okay, I mean, to some degree that's true, but only if it's voluntary. Otherwise, you don't have individual liberty. So yes, there is some truth to the fact that like you're probably not going to be able to protect your individual liberty without a group of people, because probably someone will come violate it unless you have, more than one person alone. But if it's done by force, then you don't have any individual liberty anyway to be protected.